Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Helen Liao. It's good to have you with us. Coming up, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers visit a temporary shelter in Tiga Binanga Town to understand volcano survivors' needs. We take a look at how Tzu Chi volunteers in China and Guatemala extend their help to underprivileged students. We go to Eastern Taiwan to find out why improving local economy can minimize children's health problems. The most recent series of eruptions on Mount Sinabung in Indonesia began on January 4th, and the local government ordered the nearby residents to take refuge at the market in Tiga Binanga Town. Since survivors' living and sanitary conditions have been poor, Medan Tzu Chi volunteers decided to set up washroom facility to solve the problem.
During the daytime, Pasar Tiga Binanga is bustling with crowds of people. Come the nighttime, a babble of voices can be heard coming from inside the market. This is because it is sheltering evacuees from Mount Sinabung. 3,000 people from 2 villages have crammed into this 1.5 hectare space.
Actually, this entire market can only accommodate 1,200 people, but because many of them wanted to be together and weren't willing to separate, we ended up housing 3,000 people. However, we will try our best to take care of everyone.
Space is limited inside the shelter, and with a drop in temperature in the evenings, residents have nothing to shield them from the cold. When the market opens each Tuesday, disaster survivors have to pack up their belongings and find another place to stay.
Because the market opens every Tuesdays, we have to leave and go somewhere else. We have to leave by 4 in the morning, so this is the biggest problem we are facing now.
It is difficult to move around when your children are with you. We have to pack up our tents very early in the morning, and because it's chilly in the mornings, the children get very cold.
With the poor living and sanitary conditions, many elderly and children have started to experience health problems.
There's nothing we can do here. I have poor health, so I'd like to go home. I keep wondering when we can go home.
We have increased the current 43 temporary shelters to 80. We are currently negotiating the land usage for 9 more shelters. We hope to finalize it as soon as possible.
Concerned with the residents' well-being, Medan Tzu Chi volunteers once again visit the various temporary shelters to inspect the progress of the building of washroom facilities. Volunteers hope that once these bathrooms are completed, they will offer residents a better living environment.
In Malaysia, Sabah Tzu Chi built a care home for expectant mothers in the small town of Pitas some 10 years ago. With the building getting old, volunteers decided to renovate the care facility last June, which was reopened to the public last month.
Following a 6-month renovation, the Tzu Chi Pitas care home in Sabah is finally complete and ready to serve expectant mothers in remote areas. Situated in the northeastern part of Sabah, Pitas is one of the poorest regions in the nation and lacks easy access to healthcare resources. The name Pitas means to be cut off in indigenous language, as rivers and treacherous roads make traveling to and from the town difficult. Though it takes 3 hours by car for Tzu Chi volunteers to travel from Kota Kinabalu to Pitas, it is a journey they're willing to endure to help expectant mothers get ready for the next phase in their lives.
The ride here is a bumpy one, so it took me nearly 4 hours by car. If we didn't have this care center, things would have been difficult. I am grateful that I can stay here till I give birth.
That day I asked the moms, and they told me quite frankly that in fact they are not that poor, but because they live so far away, if it rains the riverbanks will flood and the roads will be cut off. Since there is no boat, they won't be able to get to a hospital. In situations like that, this is where we are helpful for them.
Having given birth here 5 years ago to her first child, Susanna Roslyn is once again here today.
This home gives us a sense of security and comfort because the one before wasn't as safe. It was old and the windows and doors didn't seem like they closed properly. Now the doors can be locked and the environment inside is more comfortable. We are really grateful.
The newly renovated care home offers these mothers to be a place to rest comfortably and safely before they give birth. Besides expectant mothers, medical staff at the local clinic center also finds a sense of comfort in having Tzu Chi's care facility around.
Before the center was available, our nurses would have to help expectant moms find temporary places to live, such as relatives who live close to the hospital. When we couldn't find one, they would have to go home and wait. After this home was established, things weren't so difficult.
With the 10-year-old building getting old, Tzu Chi decided to renovate the center last June, and volunteers from Kota Kinabalu often traveled here to check up on the progress.
The new care center will have bedrooms, meeting rooms, and a kitchen.
On the front line serving these residents are the nurses from the Pitas government clinic, and volunteers hope to help these medical staff better understand the meaning behind the care facility.
Sebelum ni saya memang tidak tahulah, and then
Before, I didn't really understand, so I didn't take it seriously. Today, I have learned that this care center is not only helping expectant mothers in remote areas, but there's also a deeper meaning to it. As a nurse, I will no doubt lend a helping hand.
As they learn that each brick is built out of the love of Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide, medical staff are inspired to sign up as Tzu Chi members and help spread love in the town of Pitas.
Also in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers visited 3 Tamil elementary school in Malacca. There they noticed that students were wearing old or second-hand uniforms. Volunteers therefore immediately got to measuring up the students before having 94 new uniforms and shoes made to order.
My dad doesn't have the money.
Because she doesn't have a job now.
Something as simple as new shoes and a uniform is a luxury for the students of the 3 Tamil schools. Volunteers have decided to try to help by providing new shoes and uniforms for the 3 schools' 94 students.
My sisters.
Almost all of the students here come from poor families with low incomes. That means that uniforms will often get passed down from one child to the next, or that children will wear old second-hand uniforms. So I want to thank Tzu Chi for its help in this area.
Volunteer Zheng Shunyan personally takes the measurements for each of the students, and then back in her store, she carefully picks the right size for each.
Seeing them wear those old uniforms, which were either too small or too short, it was obvious they only had one uniform.
Thank you.
1 week later, volunteers are back at the school with the new uniforms. For Utaya Sankari, it is her first time ever to wear a uniform that is new.
Happy. Seeing them with proper fitting uniforms, I am also so happy.
The donation also marked the first time that Tzu Chi in Malaysia has helped underprivileged students with the fitting and purchase of new school uniforms and shoes.
To give underprivileged students the chance to continue their education, Guatemala Tzu Chi volunteers made a trip to the municipality of Palencia and Solola Santa Lucia Utalan to better understand students' needs. Meanwhile, in China, Tianjin Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Ji County to hand out scholarships to needy students. Early in the morning, despite the cold weather and long distance, Tianjin Tzu Chi volunteers are already on their way to Ji County, where they will be handing out scholarships to needy students.
Although the scholarships and material goods will be used up one day, the love and care embedded in them will not fade away.
Today, the scholarship distribution is joined by more than 50 local volunteers because they know Tzu Chi scholarships can help these students find a brighter future.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for caring and providing scholarships for us.
Other than handing out scholarships to needy students, Tzu Chi volunteers also split into teams to deliver relief items to 40 needy families in various areas of Ji County.
这两个是一家的，这两个是一家。 人生最有价值的就是感恩的心，是感恩的心。
Thanks to Tzu Chi's rice and relief items, local residents don't have to sleep on empty stomachs anymore. Meanwhile, in Central America, Guatemala Tzu Chi volunteers are conducting home visitations in the mountainous area of the municipality of Palencia. As many parents don't have high expectation for their children's education, most students only stay in school from first grade to second grade. With only few students beyond second grade, the rest can only study in the same class. Next, the volunteers arrive at Solola Santa Lucia Utalan. As locals have to wait until the monsoon seasons to farm, many are currently jobless and have a hard time making ends meet. Knowing that education is the key to ending the cycle of poverty, the principal and students of El Nuevero Junior High School seek help from Tzu Chi. After a thorough assessment, Tzu Chi volunteers discovered that as long as these children have backpacks and stationery, they don't have to quit school. Thus, the volunteers promise to extend a helping hand and give these children the chance to continue their education. In China, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers recently visited seniors at the local nursing home at the onset of the Chinese New Year. Volunteers not only organize various activities, but also prepare cakes to celebrate with the month's birthday stars.
The volunteers' heartfelt praise brings a smile to this grandma's face. At the onset of the Chinese New Year, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers visited seniors at this local nursing home in Xuxingzhuang. Accompanying the volunteers, 9-year-old Wang Zhaoyi thoughtfully pampers the senior like her own grandmother.
I feel like I want to take care of her. She's always here. I feel like I should spend more time with her and other grandmas and grandpas too.
Volunteers young and old bring song and cheer to the nursing home while giving them a massage and trimming their nails. Traditional Chinese medicine doctor Zhou Shiming also shows seniors how they can keep warm through simple exercise.
Coming here, it feels like I have returned home. When I go back home, I will also wash my parents' feet and give them a massage. When they are tired, I will chat with them or take them for a walk. I've never done these things before, but in future, I think I won't be able to get enough of it.
The volunteers' considerate gestures warms the hearts of the seniors, and such interactions not only bring joy to the elderly, but some volunteers as well.
I'm more of an introvert, but it's strange, you know. Tzu Chi brings out a person's innate qualities. I have become more gentle, so I think it's spiritual growth for me in a way.
What seniors long for the most is companionship, and the love and care which Tzu Chi volunteers bring is the best company these seniors could ask for.
Besides a shortage of educational resources, children in remote areas of Taiwan are also faced with a lack of healthcare resources, with many suffering from tooth problems and head lice. Local authorities point out that perhaps the solution to these problems is to find ways to kickstart the local economy.
Hualien is a slice of heaven that offers beautiful scenery and a relaxing environment for city dwellers. However, the children and parents who live here have long been troubled by head lice.
We got the head lice medication from the local health office. If it doesn't work, we do it other ways. We normally use white vinegar or camphor oil. Someone recommended pesticide, but we don't use that.
We dilute the vinegar with water and place the towel on the children's head for about half an hour. We usually do this for the kids once a week.
We all sleep together, so everyone needs the treatment. The kids will do it themselves. We just remind them to brush their hair each day.
With 5 out of 8 children suffering from head lice, in addition to washing their hair each day, the Huang siblings help each other by using a special brush to pick out any head lice.
For now, we try to train and encourage the children to take part in head lice examinations because many areas lack even the most basic screening tools and understanding to determine who has head lice and who doesn't.
The Hualien County government has set aside a budget of 180,000 NT dollars to provide junior high and elementary schools in all 26 townships with head lice medication and screening brushes. Nonetheless, for Jingmei Elementary, that only receives 2 brushes a year, the help barely makes a difference. Head lice is said to be only the tip of the iceberg, as children in remote areas have long lacked healthcare resources. Thus, malnutrition, parasites, tooth and eye problems are commonly found here.
The only place that offers pediatric emergency services on the East Coast is the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Hospitals in Yuli, Fuli, and Taidong take turns in providing such services.
The unbalanced allocation of resources has a profound impact on children in rural areas. Indigenous residents living in Taipei and New Taipei City receive far more benefits than those living on the East Coast.
With more than 90,000 indigenous residents to look after, which is a quarter of Hualien County's population, the government lacks the funding to look after all of them.
Perhaps the solution to such issues is to revitalize the local industry and attract more young people to return home.
If young people return to their hometown with their creativity and education, it will be easier for them to spread the message to other tribe members.
To ensure children in remote areas receive adequate healthcare and educational resources, bridging the economic gap between cities and the countryside may be a good start.
Prior to the Chinese New Year, Kaohsiung team of doctors held a free clinic in Baolai village, while medical team from the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital held a free clinic in Nan'ao village.
It's not even 8 in the morning, yet Yilan Tzu Chi volunteers and medical personnel from the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital are busy making final preparations for their free clinic. Nan'ao is a rural township situated south of Yilan. As there are only 3 clinics here, local residents have to travel northwards to Luodong or southwards to Hualien if they need medical treatment.
Medical resources are really lacking here in Nan'ao. None of the clinics are open if you injure yourself during the weekends.
Local residents go to the clinic for minor illnesses, but they will need to go to bigger hospitals outside the township for chronic problems.
As medical care is difficult to access here, starting this year, the team will hold regular free clinics to safeguard the health and well-being of residents.
It's a good opportunity for us, while conducting the free clinic, to also visit places to welcome in the spring. It's great.
Most of the 60 to 70-year-olds have lost their teeth. As dentures are very expensive, many have just left their teeth as is. So the starting point is to raise their oral hygiene awareness.
As the turnout of the free clinic was lower than anticipated, residents were able to receive additional checkups in various departments. In the traditional Chinese medicine department, many residents' headache problems were resolved through acupuncture treatment.
Thanks to the Tzu Chi medical team for organizing this free clinic here in Nan'ao. It saved us a trip to Luodong for checkups.
Team members are here in Kaohsiung's Baolai village to visit solitary seniors. Going door to door, the medical team do their best to visit each senior. Most of the elderly here suffer from chronic illnesses, and with their children working away from home, they do not always have access to medical care. Thus, doctors show seniors ways to practice simple rehabilitative exercises at home.
It's our first time here, so to try and bridge the distance between us, we use simple exercises to interact. But in fact, home visitations and emergency relief assistance would be a bigger help to them.
team of doctors try their best to provide what they can. Apart from relieving their bodily pains through the free clinic, the volunteers' care has also warmed the seniors' hearts.
In Taiwan, while many people are celebrating the Lunar New Year, Xinzhuang Tzu Chi volunteers in New Taipei City are already back at their local recycling station, sorting the extra amount of garbage collected during the holidays. Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Gangshan Recycling Education Center in Kaohsiung, volunteers are using fruit and vegetable peels to make eco-friendly fertilizer. Right at lunchtime, Gangshan Tzu Chi volunteers are already busy collecting leftover fruit and vegetable peels. What is the purpose of collecting these unwanted peels? After cutting the leftovers into cubes, these unwanted peels are ready to be transformed into an eco-friendly fertilizer. First, brown sugar and rice bran is added. Next, the mixture is stirred until liquid comes out.
The mix is ready when liquid comes out when you squeeze it. You have to make sure it is not too watery, or else the vegetables won't grow properly.
Next, the mix is set aside for 3 months before it is ready to use. When you add water to the mix, it can be used as liquid fertilizer. The residues from the mix, on the other hand, is full of nutrients and can be used as eco-friendly fertilizer.
Organic fertilizer is better for our soil. Although chemical fertilizer will speed up the growth cycle, it is not as good for our soil.
Peels from citrus fruits can be turned into enzymes, and vegetable residues can be transformed into liquid and solid fertilizers. When we mix the solid fertilizer in the soil, it can improve the quality of it.
Also contributing their share to safeguarding our planet are Xinzhuang recycling volunteers in New Taipei City. Despite the extra workload during the Lunar New Year holidays, everyone is still smiles.
I used to have bad habits and had an awful temper. Practicing recycling is good for our body and mind. All of us here are very happy.
Although having to store recyclables from morning till dawn, everyone insists on continuing on.
I will go home to cook, and after dinner I will come back here. There are many items that need to be sorted at the recycling station during Chinese New Year. Although I don't have much time, I will come here even if it is just for 1 or 2 hours.
Whether it is in the morning or at dawn, volunteers know that protecting our Mother Earth is something that cannot wait. Thus, all of them promise to continue their efforts in the days and weeks ahead. We go back to Indonesia at the end of the show to help those devastated by the recent floods in the city of Manado in North Sulawesi. Other than holding cash reward programs, Tzu Chi volunteers also handing out vouchers where recipients can receive a gas stove each. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.